about all of this and more. Senator Dan Coats is joining us. He's a Republican from Indiana. He's also a member of the Select Committee on Intelligence. Senator, thanks very much for coming in. A crazy world we're living in right now. But what have you been told about this so-called imminent threat to the U.S. Embassy, to Americans in Kabul?
Well, right now, I don't probably know anything more than your correspondent knows, but we do know that this is a high threat attack, a potential attack on the embassy. This is not unusual. We're seeing this all over the world. I think the civilized world right now, the free world, is on a state of high alert. ISIL has clearly demonstrated its ability to either inspire or to plan for attacks. This may be Al-Qaeda. You talked about also the Taliban. We're looking at numerous intelligence groups that are vying for publicity, trying to be number one, and it's very dangerous for people throughout the free world who are potentially subject to these attacks.
Are they competing with each other to see who could cause the most casualties, if you will, or because occasionally these various groups sort of cooperate with each other at the same time?
Well, I think it's both. Clearly, everybody wants to be number one, and doing that, they're using methods and social media to demonstrate just how effective and how brutal they can be. And it's perverse, but it attracts a lot of people from around the world who want to join that kind of effort. I think the world really needs to be on high alert here, whether it's Paris, whether it's somewhere in the United States, or whether it's Kabul. When I served in the embassy in Berlin as ambassador, we didn't have anything like this, and this was post 9/11. We were on high alert, but things settled down, and we seemed to have very good cooperation with the Germans in terms of knowing what the threats were going to be. But now it's something like a new threat every day.
How does the guy like the Salah Abdeslam, this terrorist suspect, escape from France or Belgium? These reports now he may already be in ISIS-controlled parts of Syria.
Well, you know, this feeds the narrative that we don't have our acts together in terms of coordination and protecting borders. And so all of those who are raising issues relative to how do we know that the visa waiver program is being breached, how do we know that terrorists aren't getting into Europe or into the United States, if a terrorist who the entire European law enforcement community is looking for, blocking everybody leaving one country to another country and can't find them, think about how easy it might be for someone we don't know about coming into Europe or trying to get into the United States. So those who are questioning what our level of security can be to prevent terrorists from getting to places where they do harm, I think have legitimate basis on which to raise those concerns.
And you have serious concerns about the whole visa waiver program for Europeans to come into the United States basically without a visa if they're coming from France or Belgium or Britain or some friendly country. About 35 plus countries have this visa waiver program. You want to change it. What do you want to see happen?
Well, it was designed to expedite travel, of course, for tourists and for commercial purposes. On the other hand, we want, and it works in a number of ways effectively, but what you don't have is someone going before a counselor or someone with the State Department face to face saying, why do you want to go to America? Why do you want to go here, there, or whatever, before we give you that visa waiver. So what we want to do is try to tighten up those rules, make sure all of those 35, actually I think it's 38 nations under the visa waiver program, are on the same high-level standard. Also, we want to make sure those consular people are trained so that they can better identify a potential suspect.
Well, you know, if the U.S. does it to them, they're going to do it to U.S. citizens as well. It's going to really, millions of people travel for business or for tourism to Europe from the United States and vice versa. If you're going to force people to have interviews, go to embassies, go to consulates, and have some sort of eyeball-to-eyeball discussion, that's going to slow things down dramatically and have a huge impact on commerce and tourism.
Well, it'll only be for those countries that can't put those standards in place.
Like which country? Like what, Germany, for example?
Well, I think Germany easily can it can do that.
Belgium?
And many
you
of
have
the
confidence
major.
in Belgium?
I don't have total confidence in any of this. It's, you know, we are looking at Salam going in one direction, potentially back to Syria. How about all those people trying to go in the other direction? I think we just need to have everybody at a high alert. I'm not mandating that everybody have consular thing. What we're doing is making sure that every country that is part of the visa waiver program has their standards in place. Now, there are watch lists also that the intelligence agencies are putting together so people can't get on planes. But this does raise real concern. Literally, Europe, everyone in Europe is looking for this guy, and they can't find him. And that should give us concern about people coming the other way if it is true that he indeed has made his way all the way back to Syria.
If he has gone from France to Belgium and then made his way
Right.
maybe through Turkey and then across the border into Syria, that would be a huge, huge...
And apparently even worked his way through a checkpoint and wasn't discovered.
Senator, thanks very much for coming
sure.
in.
Yeah, thank
Senator
you.
Dan Coats of Indiana.